Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the channel where today I am going to be discussing the Incal by Alejandro Jodorowsky and Giraud, a.k.a. Moebius. Now, a bit of background very quickly. Alejandro Jodorowsky, a French-Chilean filmmaker turned comics writer, and Moebius, known in the US as Moebius by French artist Jean Giraud, who rose to prominence in European comics primarily with his Western classic Blueberry, and then went on to do more sci-fi stuff later on in his career, and eventually collaborating with Jodorowsky on the Incal. This book was originally published between 1980 and 1988 in the revolutionary French magazine Metal Hurlant, which got translated into English as Heavy Metal. The Incal had a lot of sort of spin-offs and prequels and sequels, so I'm only going to be talking here about the core original story, the Incal, and I'm not going to be talking about before the Incal, after the Incal, the final Incal, or the Meta Barons, which is the whole sort of, people talk about some Jodo-verse, like all these interconnected stories. So just keeping to the key story. Now, the Incal sort of rose from the ashes of a failed movie adaptation of the Frank Herbert novel Dune by Jodorowsky. So basically, Jodorowsky wanted to make the movie, roped in Jean Giraud to do like the movie script thingy. I forgot the name, where you've got the pictures telling the story, so, and the designs and all that sort of stuff. The movie didn't take off. They had all that material, so what do they do? Well, adapt it all to make the Incal. Now, what is it about? No idea what it is about. Reading the Incal was a similar feeling or experience, but not quite, to The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. So if someone was to ask me, what's Sandman about? I wouldn't really be able to. It's about so many things, and I don't know. The Incal is even worse. Like, what's the Incal about? No idea. I don't know what to tell you. What I can tell you is a sort of a space odyssey in the future, where we follow a run-down on his luck detective in some planet that gets embroiled into a major, world-spanning, universe-spanning, future of humanity sort of story plot thing. But there's a lot more to it than that. So no idea what it is about. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to recommend you a couple of videos which will do a much better job than me on sort of explaining and going through the Incal, which is so I recommend. I'll leave the links in the description below. One book is by the Strange Brain Parts channel, and the other one is by Art Shutter. So they kind of tell you how the comic came about and what it is really about. For me, this was a really heavy, like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is it trying to say? What the fuck is this? It's really, really heavy on imagery. There's a lot of imagery. So, like, the main character, John the Fool is not really subtle. It's a reference to the Fool, the tarot card. So there's some implications there. But then again, there's a lot of sort of recurring images through the novel. So like there's an egg, which is supposedly some sort of, the egg being some sort of representation of fertility, but in this book the egg is a black egg that is trying to eat the sun, so it's sort of really weird. There's a lot of like the rulers of the galaxy, or the planets, are these androgynous people. So you have this sort of male-female duality type thing going on. There's a lot of light and dark themes. It's trying to talk about the conscious and the unconsciousness, and some sort of enlightenment to a higher sort of understanding. I mean, this is well-established fact. Both Jodorowsky and Moebius they be tripping. They took stuff. They be tripping, mate. Jodorowsky, is a psychomage, whatever that means. Jean Giraud was taking psychedelics throughout his life, and there's a lot of weirdness going on here. So overall, I just got the impression that I was reading something that I don't know if he was trying to be too clever for its own good, or quite possibly I'm not clever enough to understand what it's really saying. Now, the Incal apparently is the highest selling European comic in the history of comics. So what do I know? Now, that's not to say, obviously, and that's not detracting from the influence and the impact that it's had. So the aesthetics of that sort of dystopian mega city futuristic thing we've seen in Star Wars, in Blade Runner, it's all been taken and literally taken and stolen from the Incal. So I think the artwork by Jean Giraud is really top notch, and it's a little bit different from what he was doing with the Blueberry Western comics. So I'm actually curious to pick up a bit more of the more sci-fi stuff from Jean Giraud rather than Blueberry, which is the one I was more familiar with. Here in Europe, Western comics were big in the 70s and 80s. This is what I have for today. Like, I really did not understand the Incal, but shameless plug. So on the 10th of May, I will leave details in the description below. I'm hoping to have a conversation around this work with the delightful Susanna Imaginario, and maybe perhaps a couple other people, if they're still, or anyone that has actually read that and wants to participate, let me know, and we'll try to arrange a live conversation here to try to unpick this, because possibly there's a lot, and I'm not denying that there is a lot, but I need sharper minds than mine to help me understand really what is it saying, or is it just some sort of hippie, trippy stuff, and that's all there is to it. I don't know. But please do let me know, have you read it? And if you read the sequels, prequels, like, do they improve on it, or is it just more of the same? What's going on, basically? Anyway, like I said, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Take lots and lots of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.